Hey guys, welcome again, and this is book time. Well, we'll continue reading this book, Hetty Feather, until we finish. When we finish, we will continue reading another book of Jacqueline Wilson or another author. But I love Jacqueline Wilson so much that I have nearly all her books. So yeah, we'll continue reading all of her books. And yesterday, I think about last time, we read chapter 6. And I do hope that you remembered what chapter today we'll read. Of course, it's chapter 7. But if you don't remember, then I think you should watch this video again from chapter 1 till chapter 6. So you know the whole story of Hetty Feather. Or you know that last time we read chapter 6. And do you know what is chapter 6 about? It's about Hetty and Jem. They don't have enough money, but they still go to the circus in the back. So nobody know that they weren't paying, but they still go to the circus. Just Nat know, because Nat is the brother that tell Jem how to get in the circus without paying. And you know, Hetty is really happy because she can finally ride with Madame Adeline. But one unexpected thing happened in the end of chapter 6. Where is Gideon? You do remember that when Jem and Hetty go to the circus, Gideon did not go with Hetty and Jem. He did in the house. He didn't go with Nat. He's not anywhere. So where is Gideon exactly? If you want to know where is Gideon and continue of the story, then let's watch today's video of chapter 7, because myself, I also want to know where is Gideon. Who finds Gideon in the end? And will Hetty and Jem get a paddling? And what happened next? We'll find out about that. And let's get started. Chapter 7. We searched the field for Gideon in case he tried to follow us, but there was no sign of him. Jem bravely tried creeping around the back of the tent to see if he had strayed there, while the back circus men shouted at him, raising his fist in threat. "Please, sir, I mean no harm. I'm looking for my little brother. He's lost," said Jem. "There ain't no little brother here. Now make yourself scarce before I give you a boot up the backside." "Madame Adeline," I called, hoping she'll come running to rescue us, but she didn't hear me. Other men did though, and came hurrying out of their wagons. "Clear off, you little varmints, the show's over," one growled. "Come on, you two," said Nat. "They're gonna cut up rough any minute." We all had to run for it. We stopped at the edge of the field to catch our breath. I started crying again. "We'll best take Hetty home, Jem," said Nat. "You never know. Gideon might be back home himself by now. I dare say he just hid himself somewhere in the yard. He's just that timid. He'll never go dashing up by himself." We hurried home, Nat and Jem holding me tight by the hands. But even so, I kept tripping. I thought of Gideon all alone, so I kept tripping with no kind of big brothers to help him along, and I felt truly dreadful. I stopped thinking entirely of myself and Madame Adeline instead. I said over and over again inside my head, "Please let Gideon be safe at home, please." But when we ran up the path to our cottage and burst through the front door, Mother was weeping. Father was pacing the floor. Rosa and Eliza were wringing their hands. Even little Eliza were crying prodigiously in her cradle. They looked at us, mouth gaping. Then Father and Rosie and Eliza have great whoops of joy and relief. But Mother stared past Jem and me, her head turning left and right. "Gideon," she whispered. We had to shake our heads. "Oh, Mother, he's not with us," I said. "You have lost your little brother." Mother gasped. Gideon wasn't technically my little brother. He was born 5 days before me and was a head taller, though very spindly. I knew it wasn't the right time to be pedantic. Hetty and I went off together, said Jem, his face as pale as whey. Gideon was never with us. You went up to that heaven circus. I'll be bound. Jem hung his head. Shame on you, Jem. How dreadful to lead your sister astray, said father. You deserve a good thrashing. Oh no, I said. I must be thrashed, father, not Jem. I wanted to go to the circus to see Madame Adeline. Oh, father and mother, I rode with her on horse, and she said I was her little star. Mother and father barely reacted. At least father talked no more of thrashing. We must start up a proper search for Gideon. I thought you would all be fine together, but that little lad cannot cope on his own. He must be found. Do you think he'd try to follow you to the circus? He certainly seemed taken with the idea, Mother wailed. She glared at me, as if it was all my fault, which perhaps it was. Father and Nat went out together to look afresh for Gideon. Mother sent Jim and me upstairs to bed in abject disgrace. I cried, and my dear brave brother cried too. It will be my fault if anything happened to Gideon. He wept bitterly. Oh, Hetty, I should never have taken you to the Gretsch circus. You only wanted to please me, Jem. Don't cry so. It's my fault, not yours, I said, putting my arms round him, trying to comfort him the way he had comforted me so many times. It was dark when at last we heard Father and Nat coming back. We jumped out of bed and ran to the top of the stairs, but they didn't have Gideon. There's no trace of the lad, said father. We had half the village out searching. We even tried the woods, but it's like looking for the needle in a haystack. The woods! I suddenly remembered what Gideon had said. Are you going to the squirrel's house? I know where he might be, I shouted, running downstairs. Oh, father, mother, he'll be at the squirrel house. He thought that's where Jem and I were going. What squirrel house? Asked father. Oh, Hetty, don't start your silly games. Go back to bed, said mother. No, mother, Hetty's right, said Jem. It's an old hollow tree. We used to play there. Gideon asked us if we were going there. Put your jacket on over your nightshirt, boy, and show me, said father. You come too, Nat. I clamored to come as well, but they wouldn't let me. I stayed shut up in the cottage with mother, Rosie and Eliza and the baby, and one after another we all wept, longing for father and the boys to come back, but terrified too, lest they didn't find Gideon. I'm very wicked, I wept, sliding up to mother. Yes, you are wicked, Hetty, said Rosie. Poor mother, see what you've done to her. Mother had her head in her hands and was crying hard, her whole face wobbling in a distraction fashion. What shall I do if my little boy's dead? She wailed. And what will the hospital say? They'll think I'm unfit to care for any more children. They'll take little Lisa away from me. They shan't do that, said Eliza, cradling her little namesake in her arms. Oh, Hetty, this is all your fault. I burst out crying afresh, because no one seemed to mind about me. I closed my eyes and pictured Madame Adeline. Come, my precious little star, she said, holding her arms out. Come and live with the circus with me. We will perform every night. I'll be the big star and you the little star. I'll give your own white pony. You will dance on its back and everyone will clap and clap. No one shall ever scold you. Dearest Hetty, Jem will come and see us perform in the ring every night, and he will clap, and you will wave to him. He will tell people proudly that you are his little sister. Rosie and Eliza will beg you to wave at them too, but you won't take any notice of them. You don't want them to be your sisters anymore, right? right? Oh, well, I don't think so, but yes. You don't want Nat to be your brother, but then my vision of Madame Adeline faltered. She could not see the word Gideon. He was my brother forever and ever, my fellow foundling, almost like my twin. If he ceased to my brother, if he had perished somewhere in the dark woods, then I would go demented with guilt and sorrow. Madame Adeline faded until she was the merest glimmer of pink. I pictured Gideon instead, howling with terror in the great dark wood, calling for Jem and me, until his voice cracked, running and stumbling and falling, lying there in the mud and the leaves, white and limp and broken. Wild creatures scudded past him, but it didn't blink his eyes. They were open forever in his dark woodland grave. I frightened myself so badly. I started screaming. Rosie shook me hard. Stop that silly shrieking, Hetty. Shame on you. You just want to be the center of attention. Stop it this sentence. I couldn't stop. I managed to quell the noise, but huge sobs still shook me every second, and tears rolled down my cheeks in a torrent. After a long while, Mother held out her arms wearily. I crept forward and climbed on her lap. She held me close and whispered soothingly, but she was trembling too, her whole body tense with the sound of footsteps. Then at last we heard Father's big boots. The boys gruffled. Father strode in the cottage, and this time he had Giddy in his arms. He was holding him like a baby. Giddy's head lolled in his spindly arms and legs dangled lifelessly. "Oh, he's dead," I cried. "Shh, Hetty, the little lad's sleeping, but he's fair purrish," said Father. Mother leaped up, brushing me blindly out of the way, and seized Gideon to her bosom. She grabbed her shawl around him, while Rosie ran for a blanket. Mother had kept the fire burning, so Eliza soon had a stone bottle filled with hot water and bound in a towel to warm Giddy's icy limbs. Father knelt beside Mother and spread his own jacket around them both, cradling Gideon's pale face with his big, rough hands. Gideon's eyes were half open, but he didn't seem to see us. His mouth was open too, but when Rosie tried to feed him a little worm grew. It dribbles down his chin. "He's dead," I gasped. No, he's breathing, dear," said Mother. Bending her head and putting her ear against Gideon's chest. "We just need to warm up a little bit. He found his way to the squirrel house all by himself," said Jem, "but he couldn't hitch himself up into the tree. We found him lying underneath it, shivering and shaking. He cried out when Father picked him up, but he's not said anything since. But you mustn't fear, Hetty. I dare say he'll be fine by morning." Mother and Father took Giddy to sleep in their own bed, circling him in their arms. I wanted to climb in with them, but they sent me away. "They don't love me anymore because I'm so wicked," I wept. "Of course they love you, Hetty. You know I love you too," said Jem, letting me scrabble under the covers with him. He wiped my ears, my eyes with the sleeve on his nightshirt, and stroked my tangled hair. "I always love you, Hetty, no matter what," he promised me. When I went to sleep at last, I dreamed that Gideon never woke up. He lay stiff and white in a glass coffin, like Snow White in the storybooks. Mother prayed at his head, Father prayed at his feet, and my brother and sister prayed on each side along the length of the coffin. When I tried to join them, they elbowed me out of the way. Even Jem. "Go away, Hetty. I don't love you anymore. You are too wicked, he said harshly. I crept away by myself. No one noticed when I slunk out of the door. I wandered disconsolately down the lane until I heard the sound of distant drumming. I quickened my pace. By the time I could see the circus, I was running fast. There, galloping towards me, was Madame Adeline on her fine white parrot horse. She wore her beautiful pink outfit, with pink roses twining her flame red hair. A long gossamer train flew out behind her, like a flag. "My little star!" she cried, and she leaned down and scooped me up beside her. "Oh, Madame Adeline, may I come and live with you?" I said. "Of course, my precious child," she said, clasping me close, smelling wonderfully of sweet meats and roses. She grabbed me tightly in her train. "Indeed, you are my child, my own dear long-lost daughter, and now we will live together forever. You're not really called Hetty Feather. I named you Hetty, Hetty." It was Jem tugging me. "Stop it, Jem," I said fiercely, struggling to stay in my wondrous dream. "But you've wound all the bedclothes right yourself. You must share them, Hetty." He tugged hard. "You must really share them." There are many pages left. Okay, let's continue reading. "I'm not Hetty," I said, tugging back because I needed them to be Madame Adeline's train. "I need all of them." "Look, Jem, I know my real mother," I said. "What? Who's your real mother?" "It's Madame Adeline." "Are you serious right now?" "Well, I have red hair, and she have red hair too, so we're mother and daughter. I'm her long-lost daughter." Oh, so like Hetty is thinking of some crazy idea. "All right," I thought, "I'll go away." "You don't want me. Father doesn't want me. Even Jem has had enough of me. You're all sending me to the hospital soon anyway, so I'll go away now and save you the trouble." I stomped out Mother's bedroom and then crouched at the top of the stairs. I waited, shivering, until I heard Father shut the front door. I went out of the front door and marched off to join the circus and my true mother. Oh dear, I'm shaking now as I write this. I did not get lost. I was only 5 then, but I was a very determined child. I hurried through the village, glad that most folk were still in their beds because I looked a queer sight in my sacking and borrowed boots. I could not wait for my own dear mother, Madame Adeline, to clothe me in some beautiful pink outfit so that I looked a little fairy. I found exactly the right hole in the hedge to scrabble through to get into the fields. I ran across the gown. There I was, in the circus field. But where was the circus? Had I come to the wrong field after all? Was it on through another hedge? Yes, I had simply miscalculated, but I was rarely started crossing the empty field. I saw the huge circle of crushed grass. All that was left from the Tagglesfield circus. I had found my true mother and lost her once again. So Hetty actually think that Madame Ellen was her mother, and Gideon didn't talk anything, and what happened next to them. A really sad story. Bye, see you next time.